Good evening, good people, and welcome to yet another community presentation of Final Fantasy Randomizer Summer Co-op 2024. I am Saracen, joined in the booth tonight by Classic Gamer 76. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, and I am excited for this game, too.
Yeah, game one was a very exciting match. Razor finish at the end. And Rath up one game in this semifinal match.
Yes, so let's go over the blur scenes. The fighter has Clean Magic and Hurt Dragon. The thief, which was required, has fighter armor and plus 20 HP, so that's going to be a nice beefy thief that can take some damage. Black belts are banned. The red mage has life and plus 10 MDef. The white mage has plus 1 MP to all levels and plus 10 strength. And the black mage can equip shirts and has elemental plus magic, so the level 8 charges that you might not be using anyway, going to have some spells there.
Yeah, that thief is looking chonky. Those are good bonuses for a thief. And, all right, sure, the fighter armor not so great once you get to, if you're looking at iron or steel or whatever. But flame armor and ice armor before you promote is a really big deal, and those don't hamper your evade very much.
No, they don't.
Thief hit points are always the big deal.
Yes, and plus 20 there, that'll help keep that thief up against some nasty boss melee or some nasty boss skills. And we've got some pretty high scalings in this flag set.
Yeah, that is kind of the theme in the co-op flags, is that they have higher scaling, and it is a risk going in without the right levels. But the big advantage comes with the orb-based experience progression. Your experience just skyrockets as soon as you clear one Fiend dungeon. But, good luck finding it, because we are entrance and floor shuffle.
Yes, and that even includes Canaria, so they hit in the town of Canaria. It might be dwarves, it might be Bahamut, it could be anywhere.
And that actually brings up a really interesting point, that the Black Mage having elemental plus magic, it's 2 charges, right? But that is so helpful when you don't know when you're actually going to get magic. Like, you have sweepers. Just a little bit.
Yep, every little bit helps. The Black Mage was actually our other force character.
Yeah, and I would say that in these flags, there is a lot of tension between the different mages and having the resources that you want. We do see that the clean magic on the fighter includes life. That is a significant deciding factor. We do get some starting equipment as well for everybody. So we've got copper bracelets and a silver bracelet and a chain shirt plus 6. Chain plus 6 is big.
Yes.
That is Lefane with a superstore right out the gate.
Yeah,
so we're going to find out about some magic real quick.
Meanwhile, looks like we have Earth. I'm not sure. I think that's Earth 2. It's hard to tell when they're flipped sometimes.
I believe you are correct. We would be looking at an upward start for Earth 4. So, alright. Brack, Temper, Zap at level 1. All very useful spells. Stun is better because we have the 600 limit on Power Word. Level 1 White basically was Harm 2.
Yep.
Not great.
Oh, did you see that level 8 white spell? It was Exit.
That is very painful. Now, what is also notable is that, we were able to catch some of the other magic, and Harm 3 at level 2, Harm 4 and Life 2 and Invis 2 all at level 3. That's stacked. But our Black Mage doesn't have consistent damage until level 3 Black.
But
and that's Ice 2.
Yes, but he also has level 2 Fast, which is nice. And Nuke was level 7. Ouch.
we can't always get what we want.
Nope.
Unrunnable Bull, surprisingly rude on Tryhard's side. We're seeing Marsh Attic out of Crab Cakes.
Yep, so there will be an incentive on one of the marsh floors. We don't know which one. And of course, since, floors are shuffled, you could go from, marsh 1 to, C1, which would be very trolling because then you have both splits.
All right, so Matoya's entrance was that Marsh Attic, and it was garbage. Spellzap is going to be continuing down the Canaria Castle, it's Earth 2 thing.
Yep, we'll see what's in these chests. And of course, we have no trap tiles in this flag set, so don't have to worry about that. And, oh yeah, the Cap +6 is pretty nice.
Cap +6 is very, very nice. It's a surprisingly useful item.
And Crab Cakes has found Ordeals, so take your guess as to which pillar, not pillar 1.
That is Ordeals at Provoca, which, I don't really like it that early, but we do what we can. We have a waterfall underneath that Earth 2, which is probably not necessarily what we want to see if we're Hard Rath here. Or, honestly, either team. But it's a little early to want to be dealing with a proc gen waterfall at the end of that long of a floor.
Definitely.
But Spellzap has found the ship. And that is the robot is the ship holder.
Yep, so that'll give us some good inner sea access.
That was a lot of experience in those boxes. That was almost 28k total. Like, we just threw 7k on each character out of nowhere. And going in for the Sorcerer fight, which is a little dicey.
The Elemental Plus magic should do some good work on there, or at least that's what Sonira's hoping. Meanwhile, Emil Tryhard has found Earth 1, and Crab Cakes has found Marsh 2.
Into Sky 1 as well. We do have a note here that the canal was the Ordeals item, so now we have ship and canal. This is a very open seat.
And for anyone who is wondering in chat who might not have already guessed, this is an Oslodo seed. Been known to roll some treks around the world.
I mean, game 1 was pretty fast. Was that also an Oslodo seed?
No, pretty that fast, was not.
It was the fastest of the tournament, from what I've heard.
Yes, it was.
All right. Tryhard getting bullied a little bit by a pack of gargoyles, but we're making it happen.
Meanwhile, Saudi Rath is exiting Canaria Castle area. He's going to check out to see what is over in Matoya, which we know what that is, but not sure if Hard Rath has seen it yet.
Spellzap finding one of the sea floors on the Kraken side. Quad X stick is a real nice thing, and I think that we've already seen that on... Yeah, we've seen that on the Gaming Gators side already.
Yep, with that 600, power word threshold, Quad X is going to be really strong. And there's Toph.
Oh, baby. Knowing where that is very nice. We also get to see that it's flipped, which is always funny.
Also means when we find Canaria Castle, we will get the incentive from the princess, which may or may not be anything, and we'll try hard Brax Garland.
You do what you gotta do when it comes to Garland.
Yep.
Brack is what we have as far as a tool.
Yep. If it works for Kraken, it can work for Garland.
Good job, Tryhard. You missed the snake statue giveaway.
Yep. Bounces off the key lock. Now he's checking the other side. Crab Cakes, meanwhile, is looking at Sky once. Found some ice armor, which is very nice.
Ice +4 is Fantastic.
He said the thief is going to be able to use that right out of the gate as well. Although right now she has it on her fighter.
Cremate Manticores, a little bit much for this party right now, I think. Yeah, we're getting away. We got a zap off on one, but not all of them.
Crab Cake's making her way back from Sky 1.
To a Q block.
There is some irony there.
Yeah.
Sometimes the seeds just have a wonderful sense of humor. Spellzap is now taking on Garland, going to try to brack him as well. Or Quadex him, that also works.
Tryhard, meanwhile, has found Marsh Split at Elf.
Alright, and Sonia Rath has picked up the canal out of Ordeals.
Excellent. We get the fabulous dead-end dragon room at the end of the top split. Into Ice 1. You know, it would have been hilarious if we got both Cardia dead ends on the Marsh split.
That would be hilarious. It's still theoretically possible.
It is, but like if it had just been end capped right there, and instead we get Kraken, we have Brack.
Yep.
We have set RNG. That's actually a very powerful combo. If we can see turn order and effectivity, great.
And see, lots of set RNG. If it doesn't work the first time, you can just jiggle your character slots and maybe it'll work the second time.
We actually saw that in game 1 as
Yes.
Crab Cakes had a rough time on the first attempt at Kraken, swapped the mages up front. Brack landed right away. Alright, we've got Brack 1 going out, ineffective. That's a Fire 2 as the first action from Kraken, not bad. Brack 2 also ineffective. So maybe we think about that slot 3 and that slot 1 if we have to re-dive.
Indeed.
Kraken immediately slaps slot 2.
Yep.
After that.
That's going to be worth noting.
I think that's a put the thief in slot 2 moment. Hope that the extra evade carries you. And yep, there's another Fire 2.
Yeah, Kraken 1 is on fire or something this evening.
I do think it's interesting that Tryhard did the swaps before making the trek. Because there's a lot of walking. Gold plus 4s found in Canaria Town on Spellzap's side, which, was that at Marsh? Or was that in Northwest? One of the two.
I did not see that. Oh, that was a Melmond.
Oh, Melmond. Okay. But Canaria Town being found, having the gold plus 4s available. Very nice.
Always like to see that.
CC about to be disappointed.
Right, Spellzap, meanwhile, has found Sky Spider as Will Tryhard is making his way back towards Kraken.
One thing of note here is that the rainbow setup on Tryhard's side is going to provide just more options for those bracks than what CC's got in the setup. Well, I guess they don't take the white mage there, so yeah, they still have the same number of bracks, but it's fine. Fine.
So one of them's got to land in one of the slots.
Yeah, now, downside, the thief going first threw the heal potion before the damage came out. But we'll see. Broken into pieces.
All right.
So slot 3 gets it done, which actually will probably just play out for CC as well.
Probably. Well, Spellzap's find that eyes bring the heat, but Quadexes it away.
Alright. There is the dud brack. There is the good brack. Goodbye, Kraken. So both teams have one orb lit as of as soon as they get out of here, but it looks like Tryhard hit an extra encounter on the way out, and
Ooh, that was dicey.
Sheesh. All right, Sonny catching up on Spellzap's progress. And we find Titan.
Well, CC buying several subdivisions worth of houses and cabins.
Very helpful in the situation we find ourselves in. All right, on to Marsh. CC, meanwhile, heading in the direction of... Marsh is the other Titan's entry. Fabulous. CC heading in the Cardia and Northern Docks region.
Find Sarda.
Yeah, Bahamut's Cave is Sarda. Good, good. Nice little free item here. It's a chime. That gives us another entrance.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen the chime lock, and we won't know on Gaming Gators side.
Ice 2 in the dead end hole. And Tryhard also going to head here. We'll find Sarda after.
Great. Meanwhile, Sonny Rath has found Sharknado.
So we found Elf Castle in that upper hole, which is helpful, but not right now. We don't have an herb to play with. There's Provoca at Onrat.
So the free item from the pirates are pretty much free, and of course they didn't pick up spells in Lefane. You can pick them up now, or check out the weapon armor shop.
Hey, did you order steaks from Sharper Image? Because this steak was in a box.
Well, I don't know if I did, but Spellzap might have.
Vicky had the adamant for dwarves that have not shown up yet. And a ruby is for sale, in case we are so inclined to get a ruby.
Which, unless we end up missing a loot or a key late, I don't see us actually getting that ruby.
Also notable, the pro rings are in Provoca, and they're just expensive enough for Tryhard to not be able to buy, but that is something you note for your partner or for later on in the seed.
Yes. Because considering the ruby, of course, I don't know. Rath has seen both sides of Titans. I know we have. There's Matoya.
Rath saw both sides. I don't know if Gaming Gators did.
Nice experience pack here for Crabcake, so she's going to take this. Meanwhile, Sonny making his way back through Sharknado.
Tryhard committing to taking a fight or two to get the ruby by the looks of it. Actually concerned about those 4 chests right now.
I mean, that could be a big play, especially if you find a key or a loot, or if it's something like a katana +5 or something like that.
This walk is so long.
Yep. And there's Gaia. We don't have a bottle.
Level 7 warp to go with the poor exit at 8 that we saw in Lefane.
And there's the key in Volcano Armory.
Stack Kano always provides.
Yes. Also means Gaming Gator does not have to worry about double dipping dwarves should they, well, they also have the TNT, or at least not having to make a second playback. And Crabcakes has found Carrie.
This is a little dicey, and we just kind of have to hope, right? And we're seeing that hope in strange menuing choices. We're trying to figure out our lives here, because this is big if completed. and not great if not.
Yep. Cake is a little better than 3 and 56 against Carrie, if memory serves. I think it's whoa, that was a big hit on the thief.
Yeah, and I think the choice here was really, we're here, we see it. We didn't get a whole lot on the way here. Let's make the play and see what happens. All right, Tryhard did get the money for that ruby, is committing to check the chests here. We know that the connection is worthless, but, that doesn't tell us a whole lot otherwise.
Nope, lots
Big
of money.
Cube.
A cube, okay.
We have seen Cube Lock.
Now down to just Crab Cakes' fighter against Carrie, trying the cake helmet, and Carrie just says, I am not Lich. I am not in the mood for any cake.
Yeah, the Invis 2 on the White Mage is going to be very helpful for Rath to deal with that when they get to that location. But we'll see. Spellzap has also found the key for the Gaming Gators. Call out a Sunsword +5, which is a very usable weapon. On Rath's side, that'll only be good for the Red Mage until promotion.
That is true, but it is still like it's going to be a very good weapon. And can't find the katana, it's a serviceable weapon for the ninja, although at these scalings you really do want to try to find a crit weapon if you can.
Absolutely. Also, the call-out of a ribbon in the Volcano Armory hairpin. Very big find. We love our ribbons here.
Yes. Not only make your hair look nice, but protection from all elements.
Hey, it's the other Cardia Dead End. And a 19-minute bridge boss. Oh, baby. Alright, that is Crab Cakes going back to pick up that ruby by the...
Yep, that's exactly what she's doing. Good play by both teams. They see, could there be something locked behind that ruby? Well, let's go find out.
There's a lot of monster in a box in this room. And one of the things that's interesting with the monster in a box in this flag set is holding encounters for later. If you find an encounter that you want to do later on when you've got more of the orbs lit, say you find the 4 worm box or something like that, that is good knowledge to note if you feel confident that you can get back to those boxes early. Now, what I am seeing out of Rath in the course of this is there's a lot of skipping of those boxes. And I think that the thought process there is let's not take fights until we actually have orbs lit. Let's skip these boxes and try to make up time by not having done all these extra fights and the looting involved.
Flamesword +3 for Emil Tryhard, who has found mermaids. See how many chests she picks up here.
Mermaids reversed is always a horrible floor.
Yes. And he carbonates bubbles. Thank you, Admiral Tryhard.
For like 75k gold. Truly,
yeah,
Bubbles is the dragon of this seed. And a canoe.
Canoe, that's big.
And an extra mermaid for fun. Good job, Tryhard. Alright, Sonny is taking on Carrie now, and we'll see how this goes.
Yep. Trying to confuse strats instead of trying for the Hail Mary play like Crab Cakes was doing, but Sonny has a bit more, tools at his disposal. Thief not being one of them anymore.
There's a Life 1 coming out for that thief. It's just, unfortunately, after the Invis 2. Oh, sorry,
Or
that
not.
life is not taking place.
It was planned, but Carrie was like, no. I mean, these scalings, Carry 1 can, well, if we've seen, can be pretty nasty. Say nothing to Carry 2.
Iron Goal box. Very nice to see. And there's that Iron +4 armor that we were talking about before. Spellzap picking that up from the Spectre and Geist pack.
I mean, I wonder if he's also saving those Iron Goals for later, as you said, once they have a few more orbs for a little more experience.
I 100% think that's the case here. And that is a play that we saw them making last time in Game 1, where they held off on a gas D box that was located in the first floor of Northwest Castle's entrance. You know, that it's a very strong play to push those levels quickly, whereas I know that Hardrath tends to do the Toph grind. So as soon as they're into Topher, they've, you know, gone through the Black Orb, they're jumping in and walking in circles on that first floor.
We also saw that in Game 1. Meanwhile, Crabcake's making her way through the volcano floor while Admiral Tryhard's looking at the Ordeal's location.
Which is dwarves.
We do have the key, and we do have the adamant.
Which I believe that the adamant to crystal was hinted by the Provoca NPC. And we have
Roth.
Tia on Sani's side. And that is in the Ice Cave entrance.
Yep, we've got Brack. We're going for it. I believe Warbeck is vanilla. I don't know how much of him we've seen this tournament. Meanwhile, Spellzap is going through mermaids. Will he carbonate Bubbles? Well, Bubbles insists on being carbonated, so thank you, Spellzap.
We had a ribbon and dwarf lock that Tryhard just found as well. So that's 2 of our loose ribbon.
First Brack does not land on Tia, who says, "What in the blazes?" and casts Blaze.
Alright, Gaming Gators have found their canoe here in Mermaids. Crabcake's also doing the turn-ins down in Dwarf, and we'll find that ribbon as well.
Right. Meanwhile, Sonny lands his Brack on Tia, so that gives a Hardrath their second orb.
And that 1 orb lead is material. Until the Gators get another orb, the experience is going to be rolling in much more favorably. Now, what I'll also point out, though, is Spellzap has been taking a lot of levels going through here, taking a lot of those Monster in a Box encounters, and so the characters are a little bit beefier on his side specifically. I think Cece has been a little bit reluctant to take as many fights as Spellzap has, trying to push exploration instead.
All right, Sonny Rath going to take on Carrie.
And our chime lock is Matoya. So we get a floater.
Oh,
Sonny already at the desert, just waiting for it to come in.
And Crabcakes picks up her floater from Matoya and can bet Spellzap probably going to hear that's probably going to make a beeline over. No, he's not. Interesting.
You know, there's been enough of a delay that maybe there's just a little delay on the server to get the item over. And if he was already mentally locked into going to ice, not wanting to lose that makes sense. And at least checking the entrance, seeing if it has to be, you know, reset out of. Totally, I get that. But I think Spellzap's going to similarly do the dive here and take on Tia with the Brax. Land that pretty fast. Sonny already going back over to fight Carry 1 now that he's in the air. And this is, you know, a concerning fight. But the thief is still upright for the moment. And we'll see how long that lasts. Nope.
Not much longer. Meanwhile, Crabcakes has found Lich.
That
And Lich is
puts us
gone.
at all of the orbs known.
Hey. Sonny taking a page out of Ilmarkin's flight school and lands on Melmon/Canaria.
Yeah, this looks like a housing stock up and, restock on all of the consumables real quick for both of them. We're also checking equipment, which tells me, yeah, we know the golds are here. We have the money. We're getting real armor.
Yes.
Side note, if we didn't have the money for these gold +4s, cloth +5, actually great.
You don't hear cloth and great in the same sentence too often, but that is quite true.
Cloth +5 is so much better than I think people would normally give it credit for. Just like cost to value.
Yeah, cost is negligible and actually get some decent absorb out of it.
Alright, so we see Tryhard has found Melmond. And mental note of that, and now is going to find Lich.
So that'll be the third orb for Rath. So it's interesting. They still need to find the loot, and they obviously need some equipment and levels.
I think the biggest thing is going to be the levels on this one. Like, the equipment is tricky, in part because I've been skipping so many boxes.
We have fast, we have an attack, we have another attack.
We have such a sun sword. Have you ever seen such a sun sword as that?
Have you ever seen a red mage attack like that?
Sonny going to pick up that spare ribbon in the locked room.
Now, Crabcakes has found C-Split, and to the right is Sky 3, which is reversed.
Alright. Meanwhile, Tryhard trying to figure out which entrance he wants to prioritize. He's got the Cardia Isles to clean up, but also Waterfall is sitting outstanding for him.
They did not have the canoe when they were up in the area earlier. And like, he's going to check out Gaia. Which is Agama Floor, reversed.
Same location that Spell Zap is in. Enough.
These teams are both so good. I mean, we're seeing, we saw this in game 1 too, both teams in the same place at the same time, or, we'll have one runner each in the same location.
Alright, Sonny headed up to Waterfall. Wow. CC having a rough time with this Mud Goal Rock Goal pack from one of the Monster in a boxes. And, shout out here to there's no firepower in this red or black mage. The only nuking is coming from harm spells on the white mage, and it's just pain. Sonny Rath has found Crescent Lake, has the slab from the Sages. We know where Melmond and Lefane are.
Yep, meanwhile, Admiral Tryhard has found Northwest. They don't have the crown to give to the kindly old king, but can check his armory, which has nothing of note in it.
Yep. So bad, he just resets out.
And DM Stewart 1981 in chat, I can deal with floor entrance as long as the floors aren't flipped around. Yes, but when they are, oh boy. And that is the case here. Alright, I love this. Sonny Rath is translating the slab while Admiral Tryhard is going to Lefane. They're going to pick up the item there.
The interminable wait.
Yeah.
To get the crown, of course. All right.
They were just at Northwest Castle.
All right. We know where that crown turns in at. Sonny's going to go chase that down. Skip pretty much all the boxes here. I didn't think there was anything worthwhile.
Nothing comes notable to my memory. We found the loosened volcano. That was what was important.
That is the third ribbon from Astos, which is good. I don't hate it. But, you know, it doesn't feel great.
Yeah. I think I noticed, is that a katana +1 I see for Sonny? So when they find the tail, and I think Spellzap just found Bahamut. And that's also Guide 2 that Spellzap has found. Or excuse me, Mirage 2.
You know, it's always funny walking out of Volcano. It's way funnier walking out of Volcano when it's reversed.
Yes. Because then things like that can happen, where you instinctively go, it's normally the right direction, and it's the wrong direction.
All right, the princess had the Oxyale. I didn't see... Oh, the king has the TNT. All right. We haven't seen Onrak yet? Question mark?
I do not believe we have, and big thing we haven't seen is the loot.
Yes, and we do have dwarves known. We can turn in the TNT. We'll see what we get out of this Canaria treasury as well. The
bottle. We've seen Gaia. We know where that is.
That is on the right side of Titan. And the loot is after the TNT. Hoo boy!
It with multi-instrument Sarah, that's the Lyra, so, you know, Admiral Tryhard knows they need to be carry and get a few levels. Perhaps get a few levels, then be carry and get a few more levels.
That's a really tricky proposition for them right now, and it's funny to say that I don't think that either Sonny or Tryhard are in a great position when it comes to doing that fight right. So yes, the levels certainly are a big thing, but we need to figure out what our party jiggling situation looks like, because clearly we know that slots 1 and 2 just get pasted. And set RNG means we know that that's just going to be the...
Yes, and pre-promotion we have the Sun +5, but we really don't have much in the way of weapons, to be honestly. You know, you find that tail, that changes everything, at least in that regard. Now, Spellzap's going through the ice loop. Let's see what he finds, and he's skipping the Xboxes now.
I think that makes sense. I think the time crunch is starting to come to mind for all of our runners here. If you think back to the position that they found themselves in Game 1, 57 minutes was we're going. And
yes.
The real trick of that is, you know, you walk it back. 57 minutes was chaos. Well, that means that 40-something was go mode and getting levels.
You know, the Saber Bonk got a greater than less than, so you know Sony Rath's going to relay that to Admiral Tryhard, because you want that, especially when you're hurting for offense.
Tryhard is going to pick up that ribbon that we found earlier. Just needs to remember which box it was. And if I remember the notes right, it was the one north of the armory, not the right side.
You know, we have crab cakes in the air as Spellzap exits the ice loop. Admiral, excuse me, where Sawney now is, and of course with that level 7 warp, and that is actually promotion locked.
Alright, CC going after Carrie again. in a much healthier position, I would say.
Yes.
Tryhard about to turn in that bottle.
We'll see what that becomes.
The thief lives on CC's side.
Meanwhile, pouring tempers into the fighter, and the thief no longer lives on CC's side, but that was a lot of damage there. Yeah, throwing out the quad X's. I like this because she may be in range soon.
Soon, you say?
Yeah.
All right.
Sure negative HP is in range of quad X.
Yes.
All 4 orbs for Gaming Gators, and of course, they still have the equipment and levels concerns, and they have not found the loot yet.
Well, they're about to get it, if I remember right, because I think that Ordeals was dwarves, and the TNT is the loot. Yep, there it is. Slight mismatch and delays that are causing items to come from the future.
And the rod was from the Elf Prince, which I'm not even sure if we've seen the rod lock. I don't think we need it. We've found all our orbs and our loot and our key. And the note was made, or tracker's notes, loot from the future. And here we thought it was like 2,000 years old.
But the real big call out at this point is we're looking at things is we still need to clear that last orb on Rath's side, and we know where the final everything is, so they must be concerned about finding the equipment at this point to finish this out.
Yes, I think that's a very big concern. You've got the ribbons, but well, so you have, of course, do they remember that the thief does have fighter armor? They don't need promotion to use the flame and the ice armor.
I think that is less a concern than, man, we really need a crit weapon to deal with this, unless we're going to rely on the Masa. And you can't use the Masa on carry 2. It's not
No,
there.
you cannot. And another point Odoron made in chat is no Roo Stick either.
That is also very scary. We have an Inviscaster, if I recall correctly, and that is not enough.
No, especially not at these scalings.
But what I'm seeing out of the Gaming Gators is they are doing cleanup of known items. They are not looking at new. And that is, I think, telling on its own.
Indeed. Interesting. I don't think we've seen the Rune Sword, which would work well against Lich 2 and Carry 2. And then you can pick up the Masa before Kraken.
That is true.
Well, Admiral Tryhard has found the rod lock, and there's Onrak. So what's ever down here is behind 2 locks.
Well, that's Earth 4. We didn't really want to see that. What we're really looking for is whatever turns into the tail.
Have we seen the Earth and Sun of item yet, though? We might have a tail down here somewhere. Now, Spells Up is also heading towards the rod lock.
And that is Marsh.
I don't think we've seen the Marsh incentive either. I could be wrong. There's the Purple Plus 2. There's a crit weapon. Now we just need that tail.
And there it is.
There it is.
Alright, so we're slightly less concerned. We know where Bahamut is. Tryhard just needs to get out.
Yes, meanwhile, Sony made a beeline for Bahamut.
All right, so Tryhard has a Vorpal, Sonny has a Katana. We're just gonna swap over to that and call it a day. Sonny notably does not have that Sun Sword that was found. That is a very good weapon for that red mage. You know,
That'll do some work against Lich too. And at these scalings, he's going to have some HP. And if he leads off with something rude, which he often does, saw Nuclear in game 1 in round 1.
there was a Ruse Stick on Earth 4 that spells at, which, with Tryhard checking areas, may find it as well. I didn't see if he actually looked at chests or not.
Yeah, it looked like Rath was skipping everything in Earth 4, so that could be, pretty big there because that, not having the Ruse Stick can make a huge difference in Topher.
Okay, so Tryhard is going for chests, which means he probably did check those earlier ones. And there is that Ruse Stick.
We saw the adjustment from Sony Rath. They put the Red Mage up in slot 1, putting the Thief down in slot 2, where hopefully live a little longer.
Yeah, I think that was a very solid play. Spellzap, meanwhile, has received that tail, is checking this monster in a box. Did see what it contained, but I didn't catch it myself.
Right, that's carried down for Rath, so now they have all 4 orbs lit.
Alright, so real quick synopsis of the situation. We are going to get a promotion out of Tryhard right now. Cece catching that Ruse Stick that everybody knows about. Both teams are going to get fully promoted in online. Now, the question is, how much grind time do we need to see? As both teams are fully in go mode at this 44-minute mark.
And as you mentioned earlier, they're going to be thinking back to game 1 where, it was over at 57 minutes. That was the fastest of the tournament, but these are 2 very fast teams. And they're both going to be thinking that.
Absolutely. All right. We can see that Tryhard was just checking notes to see where he needs to go. And for the moment, the answer is, I need to pick up spells. I understand this. The instinct of, I want the spells so that I can have them once I've gotten my charge in.
Oh, he's not picking up ninja spells at the moment.
He was picking up Lock 2 very specifically. There's Nuke.
Picking that up very specifically as well. Now he's going back.
Yeah, I think the focus was just on getting the Black Wizard spells. You can see the ninja is just getting fast to temper. And both Sonny and Tryhard are heading in for their grinds.
See, it'll be interesting whether Gaming Gators found any good chests. I mean, so at least won the Iron Goals, but if they remember any good chests to go back to and get some really quick levels. Like, they did that in game 1. It's like CC jumped like 3 levels on a pack of 4 gas dragons.
Absolutely. And that ninja's still kind of hitting like a wet noodle with that Vorpal +2 that Tryhard is swinging, but we're going to see those levels pick up pretty quick if you're getting encounters like, 2 worms. Only level 20 right.
Well, it's interesting. If that was quick off the reset, and especially if it's a long run for the second encounter, do you just reset after the first encounter? Well, save and after the first encounter and hard reset. Now, Crab Cakes is going to promote.
Spellzap went and grabbed that Sunsword +5. specifically went out of the way to go do Titan and grab that. So this level of prep is very interesting. And that tells me, you know, we're still concerned.
Yep, Odor on the chat point out that Sun Sword will make quick work of Lich too. Yes. It's a very good weapon, especially against Lich.
So, notable thought on the situation for the gaming Gators is that Knight has Cure 4, Life 2, and Life. That is a thick, chonky boy right there. And I think that that is a very strong position to go into this Topher. I am way less happy about that White Mage seeing that. Even though the White Mage has been kind of our AoE carry, there's not a lot that we need to kill in this Topher unless we hit an unrunnable pack.
That is very true, and how many times have you seen it where, you know, after, you just have the Knight barely alive after Kraken 2, and he can bring up the rest of the party to life charges. Osleto in chat, just watch the Vorpal go. I'm waiting to watch it. I mean, I agree that it's a great sword. Which the best in the game depends on how it rolls blursing-wise, but...
It's funny to see... I know that there's a delay gap on the Gaming Gator side, but they were synced up so perfectly flying in.
And they're also going to do a Topher grind. It says they are still concerned about their levels. I didn't catch what they were.
Spell Zap is going straight in. Spell Zap is going to be the canary in the coal mine here. Mentally trying to correct for the missed step there as well, which I think is hilarious, because in the earth floor on mid-Topher, if you go straight up until you bonk, you then catch the doors and skip those encounter progress tiles. So you end up taking one extra step north, but you had to take that step anyway, and then you cut out 2 tiles of progress on the encounter table.
Meanwhile, Lich 2 led off with Zap and Bye Bye Black Wizard that hit slot 4. Of course, that's probably where he doesn't have a ribbon.
I don't know how many ribbons Spell Zap has. That's also a very important question.
Indeed. Anyway, Spell Zap past Lich 2. You know, Crab Cakes is taking on some... In fact, everyone else is taking on some Frost Dragons.
That moment of, oh wait, there's a shortcut.
Yeah.
Sonny looks to be done with the grind and is about to go save. Or is catching some charges back. But I think this is, I'm done with the grind and I need to go do the thing.
We'll
Sure
see. Yep,
is.
he is going. All right, Crab Cakes, meanwhile, is still grinding. I like this play. Both teams. One goes in and finds out, the other grinds up more. And also, you know, can pass on things like, oh, Carrie has first turn nuclear.
I think this one was first turn Ice 2, but if it had a nuclear to follow up, that's certainly a concern.
First skill nuclear. And still more than 600 HP. And good night, Knight.
We are considering our options as the zap goes, into a nuke.
Oh.
That now is a very precarious position in this race, as we really need to think about whether we have the resources for things. Spell Zap still acting... Oh, no, we are going to do a little bit of a grind. Okay. I was going to say, it looked like Spell Zap was going to head in the direction of right back to it, but I feel like there's a need for resources that currently is not there.
Especially Hard Rath, they don't have a knight. They're not going to have quite as chunky characters. I mean, Bozep didn't survive the nuke. I don't think. Well, actually, Sonic the Little Turn Order will survive a nuke, or at least his thief will.
The nuclear went out, and the Cure 4s got us back up and going. But the follow-up nuke is where we hit the reset button. That is hashtag concern. But he's going right back to it. Cece finished with her grind.
She's just saving to get charges, or is she going for it?
She's going. And no question in my mind. She had more levels than Zap. And, sure, Zap got stymied. But, hit points are a valuable resource. And if we know the numbers that are coming out on those nukes, that's a big deal.
We'll see what adjustments Admiral Tryhard makes. You heard what Carrie has from Sony.
I think the biggest key for Tryhard is making sure that white wizard stays alive. And, we have to keep everybody up, but really, we need to keep the white wizard and the ninja up for the course of this fight. And I see that happening, right? We've got heal pots going out from people who don't have good spells to cast. And we've been using heal 2s to shore up our hit points.
Yep, ninja goes down to just the white wizard, but...
Throw out a fade and hope!
Yep.
No, we're giving it up. All right. Yeah, back to the drawing board is what we're seeing out of Tryhard here, and I respect.
I agree. Yeah.
The spell resources here are just not great. I mean, it's rough to say that we have Lefane at Canaria with the Superstore and nothing to show for it. Now, let's shout out, Crab Cakes just took down that carry. It is time to find out what horrors lie beyond.
Yes. I mean, game 1, Kraken was dealing out 4-digit damage to the third slot, round 1, and Crabcakes is going for the Masa, and Masa or no Masa, 2 eyes is a nice grind. Yeah, nice encounter.
What is this? As Sani also going for it and hits the 2 eyes. That means Sani was able to clear this as well. That is a Masa +1, very good weapon.
Yes.
And that Masa goes onto the Knight for Crab Cakes.
I like this. The Katana and the Vorpal didn't roll super high, so I mean, you need to buff up the Masa maybe a little, but it will work. Meanwhile, Admiral Tryhard gives Lich some cake. That is a sickly looking Kraken on Crabcake's side. What sickly things is he going to do?
That is a sour gummy worm if I've ever seen one. Well, I mean, more like a handful of sour gummy worms.
Melee's the ninja, but the ninja stays up.
That is impressive in its own right.
Yeah. CC's running low on tempers, though. That could be big for Kia and Chaos, because I don't know if she has the Saber Bonk.
Not 100% on that either. Spellzap going to get that Masa now. We see that Sani's still hanging in on this Kraken fight. Tryhard on carry 2. So they're starting to sync up.
Yep, here we go again. We have, we had 3 Fiend fights. Now Spellzap has a Masa. He's going to take on Kraken. But Sani's relayed, the Admiral Tryhard, Hey, 2 eyes in the mouse is +1. Get it.
Yeah, that is definitely a grab and passing kind of thing, especially since Tryhard is swinging the Vorpal right now, and it requires tempers, right? Like, if the Absorb isn't overpowering, the Vorpal is not helping your cause.
No, it's not. Meanwhile, Crabcakes does have the power bonk. Though 2 misses, that's big.
We are seeing the need for lock casts, which is a big deal as well.
Right?
Ow.
Sony is through Kraken 2.
This Tia 2 is not particularly friendly either, but CC continues swinging. Down goes Black Wizard, then a nuke comes out to wipe Crabcakes out. I don't feel confident.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Admiral Tryhard's having quite a time against Carrie. The Red Wizard is hanging in there, though. Lifing up the ninja. Carrie says, get out, and yeah. Yeah, no life casters, time to reset. All right, Sony is now on Tia 2.
I hate suggesting this, but I think another 7 or 8 levels might be in order for both the teams.
Yes, because we haven't seen what Chaos has yet, and we haven't seen Cure 4. We've only seen 1 nuclear. I think there's 1 more nuke out there. We haven't seen Swirl, Tornado.
Yeah, the scariness lies at Chaos, which plays into the Gaming Gators' favor, right? Because that night with Cure 4, as long as you're able to hold a charge of it, or 2 charges ideally, that's a big deal. Yeah. Having your melee with the highest hit point pool, the best armor, be able to cure itself back to full is a huge bonus.
Yep, we have 2 carry 2s, 2 Tia 2s.
Shout out also to the thickness of Sonny's White Wizard with 472 health right now, and I think that was after the after a little bit of supplementary damage.
It definitely has the invasion stacks up now because Tia missed the Black Wizard.
Well, Sonny is focusing on rusing the White Wizard, and everybody lived through that nuke.
Those rolls weren't particularly bad. The ninja is down on a knee, though.
Yeah, we're gonna fix that.
Turn order permitting.
Low damage rolls permitting as well, but we do see that Tiamat had a lot of hit points left. Takes 1180 something to the dome and still upright. Maybe in quad X range now. We see Zap is through.
And some unrunnable worms, which will be nice experience, but it will slow him up.
Sonny also threw Tia. And Tryhard grabbing a couple extra levels. That Vorpal is not doing him the favors that the Katana did for Sonny.
Meanwhile, Sonny is down in the Chaos Force. Spellzap is healing up. Crabcakes is on Kraken 2. And you pointed out that night with the Cure 4 is going to be a huge advantage. Well, Sonny...
Go ahead.
Sonny Rath and Spellzap are both on Chaos at the same time. We'll see what tricks Chaos has up his sleeve.
Well, we see that the Black Mage or Black Wizard on Spellzap's side is already down, but we do have a fair number of resources left to apply into that night so that we can try to finish this out. But we are out of charges on the ninja as far as relevant things. We're just waiting on it, throwing out locks and making sure that we're good to go. That ninja goes down for Zap.
Huge hit from Chaos. Meanwhile,
Sonny Rath still... Red Wizard too.
Chaos missing the Knight, though, but... Ooh, huge hit on the red mage on a Chaos on Sonny's side, but getting some damage out of that ninja now. Oh! Was that a 3 and 256 on Spell Zap?
Seems like.
Let's see, Sonny Rath still has all 4 characters up. 419, need more damage. Lock will help. While Crab Cakes is on Tia, Spell Zap is going in again.
I mean, what else are you gonna do, right? The main thing is ideally keep somebody else up before the Bane comes out.
You know, Sonny tried to get a cheeky 3 and 256 on Chaos, but it did not land.
Alright, Zap is through Lich 2. That's good progress.
More locks coming out of Sonny.
The hard part about this is that, you know, when you're casting locks instead of temper, it's almost desperation stats. That Bane rolls out, only takes out the black. Good.
And get your G's out in chat for Hard Wrath, as Sonny is through Chaos at 1 hour, 3 minutes, 28 seconds, it looks like. Meanwhile, we have Spells Up on Carry 2, Crab Cakes on Tia 2, and Admiral Tryhard is heading towards Carry 2 now.
Whew.
This is everyone's race. This is living up to the billing once again. Tia takes 1,000 damage from Crab Cakes and says, hey, I don't like that. Nuke. 5 hits for 88 this time. Tia says, I don't like you, Ninja. And then the Knight finishes her off. Crab Cakes is through Tia 2.
This Topher is so rude.
We have seen a lot of very rude Tophers this tournament. Here's a talked about earlier. Spell Zap is through Carry 2 with just his Knight, but that Knight has life too.
Also worth noting, Spell Zap's Knight has like 100 less hit points than CC's. And we're hoping to get out of this alive. That was an extra step without reviving.
In fact,
we're focusing the experience onto the Knight by leaving the rest of the party down before the eyes.
Trying to get a few of those extra HP on that Knight.
Yep. That makes a lot of sense. It's a scary run going all the way through that Kraken floor with just the Knight. But we have the life 2 charges. We got several levels onto that Knight, I believe.
Yep, up to level 31 now. Meanwhile,
that was like
hard.
60 hit points.
Yeah.
60 hit points gained.
Yep. Tryhard through Carry has the White Wizard and Ninja up, reviving the rest of his party. Spell Zap on Kraken, Crab Cakes on Chaos, and Vising up. Our Knight is already down on a knee. That's not good.
We're figuring it out.
That.
Tryhard is skipping the Masa this time. Hashtag concern.
Yeah, that is an interesting play. He might be feeling very pinched for time, but I mean, doesn't help if you get wiped, or maybe he thinks I just need to get a few more tempers out on that Vorpal. More locks from Crab Cakes on Chaos. Chaos missing. Both Spell Zap and Crab Cakes are on... Excuse me, Spell Zap and Emerald Tryhard are on Kraken too. Crab Cakes, of course, being on Chaos. There's that Bane that we know is going to hit slot 1.
And terminated for crab cakes. Get your G out in chat for the gaming Gators.
And here we go. This is going to go down to the wire again. Spells up, encountering some iron goals. Meanwhile, Emil Tryhard wants to finish off Kraken 2 and wants to do it with as many people alive as possible. Big hit out of that ninja. Swings again and finishes off Kraken. Meanwhile, Spellzap is already on tier 2, though.
Is that 42 on one of Tryhard's characters? It's got to be the ninja, right?
I would think so.
Or was there like a XP bonus in these flags for one of the classes? Yeah, the White Wizard probably has higher levels because I think there's an XP bonus.
Order on chat confirming the White Wizard has more XP. We have dueling tier 2s now. Each runner has to know the other is in Topher, they just don't know where.
The darkest timeline. The double blind.
Chia did not do a lot of damage to Spellzap's Knight. Spellzap's Knight did not do a lot of damage to Tia. And meanwhile, one advantage Spellzap does has noted to. Oh, did Slow 2 land on that ninja? No, it did not, from the looks of it. Is that Emil Tryhard has to work on keeping both the White Mage and the ninja alive, whereas Spellzap, if only the Knight makes it through, that's fine. You can see he's getting a little bit of a lead here.
Doing heal pot strats to conserve resources as well. There is the nuke, the relatively low roll nuke, but we still haven't actually.
Ooh, that was bad turn order there.
Yeah, you know, you don't want to.
He's thinking about it. Gonna throw, Brack throw out. Does he have any fade charges?
Oh, he's got plenty of fade charges. The problem is, does he live long enough to get to the end of this battle? And
yes, he does.
He does. Oh. Now, that is a moment where you really wish that you had been throwing out the nuke and the fade prior, like, to the ninja dying.
Yes.
Instead of holding out hope that you're going to get through this. Am I seeing correctly that this White Mage ran out of life casts and we don't get our Red Wizard? Yeah. That is not a good time.
That is also concerning, but we'll try hard. Still trying to get through the chaos. See if he does any party adjustments here.
The main adjustment was we were getting a ribbon onto the ninja. I understand. Where does he put that ninja in the party?
That's a good question. Still trying to think. Meanwhile, Chaos has annihilated the Black Wizard for Spellzap, but Spellzap has that Vorpal on the Knight. It is doing some major damage against Chaos. And then does 270. The Vorpal will be the Vorpal.
That is, however, the fatal hit. GG's to the gaming Gators. It's right in the name, folks.
Yep, and they will force a Game 3.
This was definitely a good performance from both teams.
Yes.
And I think, yeah, I don't think the Tryhard has what it takes to wrap up this chaos.
I would have to agree. In fact, if he's doing a desperation fade already.
Not picking up Life 1 was a major hindrance, and yeah. Oof. Down goes White Wizard. which
Down to just a ninja.
I think that leaves the Bane 3 and 256 to hit the ninja.
Yes, it does. And there is no RNG loop with that RNG. And there it goes.
Oof. Well, game 3 coming in hot after this. And we have Tryhard and Sonny Rath in the booth with us now. GG's, gentlemen.
GG's.
I know exactly why I Tryhard got baned through the ribbon.
Because there was nobody else to soak up the 3 and 256.
For that first target.
Yup.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, GG's, you guys put on a heck of a show here, and I'm looking forward to game 3. Let me tell you, though, that night on the Gaming Gators side, whoo boy, was that a chonky one.
Yeah. So you want to know the conversation Sonya and I had right before we started?
I'm listening.
As am I.
So you want to take a Thief Fighter Red Black? Nah, don't worry. I think Thief Rainbow's got it this seed.
I mean, it sure did for me.
It did. You know, the hard part really is Tryhard, you were just rolling through on that Vorpal and hoping that it would work. And even with the levels, getting over that 12 attack difference base versus the katana that Sonny had, just too huge.
Oslodo, what the heck? You betrayed me. I thought Oslodo would roll a Vorpal seed. I felt it.
Don't worry, the betrayal is always felt.
Yeah. And Oslodo in chat's pointing out that Spellzap had it and it worked, which is true. He was doing some major damage on Chaos with that Vorpal.
Yeah, imagine getting to swing on Chaos.
So, how about that Life 1?
Imagine forgetting to pick up Life 1.
It was a realized oof, and then seeing the Red Wizard as well be down for your Chaos.
Yep, that was a total missed menu. Like, my entire arms are numb.
There's been a lot of tension over this series.
I mean, you have teams as good as this and series as close as this.
Absolutely. I know that game 1 was a long cooldown time for both of you. Having talked to you after the race, it was a couple hours before the high came down.
It was a couple hours before I was able to go to bed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, you know, looking at some of the other stuff, how about Carry 1? Gatekeeper Carry 1 this seed.
Carry 1 was amazing.
It does entertain me that in game 1 you had the easy Carry 1, relatively, air quotes, easy Carry 1.
Oh no, she was the easy Carry 1 for game 1.
I mean, in that you got through it with like one character alive and whatnot, but it gave you that orb lead for such a significant portion of the seed. And in this one, both of y'all got blocked by it, both teams, but it was just a little easier for the Gaming Gators with that fighter to get through her.
It's a lot easier for a fighter to survive all the nukes and nuclears we saw.
Well, Carry 1 didn't have that. That was Carry 2. Carry 1 just hit you to oblivion.
The paunch.
Yeah, easier for the fighter to survive that too.
Like, Carry 1 was slice and dice.
The funny thing about that was the Carry 1, if your first slot survived the first hit, that was also the target for the second hit. So your second slot could be theoretically safe if you had enough hit points in slot 1. getting those hit points, though.
That was the catch.
So early on in the seed, I noticed both of you skipping a lot of the trap chests. Was that a strategy to try to push pace on exploration?
We found a katana early.
Literally, katana was in Waterfall, and it was the only trap chest in Waterfall. And I found that and went, I'm not checking any other trap chests. I'm good.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Like, we knew we had, like, we found the one thing to make, like, the one of two possible things to make a thief or ninja party work. And we went, oh. Because I think up until Topher, I felt really good about how we were playing.
And then Topher did Topher things.
Yeah.
To you.
Yeah.
Topher did Topher things to everyone, but you guys were neck and neck again. There were 2 chaoses on screen, not 4 this time, but we did have 2.
Spell Zap and myself, I'd imagine.
Yeah, Zap had an unfortunate wipe on the first Chaos attempt, but was able to pull it back on the next one. CC just powered through. But Spell Zap was definitely the I'm going to dive for information while CC did grinding. And that was going on while both of you were grinding before taking any dives. So, but, you know, Carry 2 promptly sent Spell Zap back to the grind.
Yeah, I think Spellzap was also the first one to discover the Chaos has a 3 and 256 coming out with the Bane.
Talk about rude with set RNG there, though, right?
Yeah, because the problem with that is it whatever your first target was with that Bane, it was dead.
And the real follow-up to that is a lot of the time that Bane came out after 3 characters were already dead.
Except on my end.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, remember Crab Cakes beat Chaos before the Bane came out, or whether she also had multiple characters up.
Pretty sure she had multiple.
Mm-hmm. Well, that about does it for my questions. Classic Gamer, did you have any other questions for the runners?
I think it was your final try hard. I noticed you decided to skip the Masa and go with just a Vorpal. Was that just because
I'm
you
behind.
didn't want to take the... Yeah.
I bet everything on that Vorpal. And it bit me.
Well, there's not been a 3 and 256 Bane coming. I think you get through that chaos. But...
Yeah. Mismenued spelled disaster for me.
As well as not having life 1. Like that spelled even more disaster for you.
This is the first time in a while I've legitimately just used up 10 plus life charges in a Toph dive.
Some days. CC in chat mentioning that she spammed Invis 2 due to having the information on the fight. Yep. Definitely makes sense.
So what are your guys' thoughts, and this goes to the Gaming Gators as well, going into Game 3?
My thoughts boil down to 2 words. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, not out yet. You know, it's going to be the most exciting game with the most amount of nerves coming on. I think we're saying Saturday, 9 p.m. Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking at tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern. I don't know if CC has submitted that or Spells App for that matter. If not, one of us can.
Yep, and Cupcakes in chat saying, go fast, try not to wipe and Topher. Well, some of these Tophers, that can be pretty difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like most of this tournament, Sonya and I have been saying, like, oh yeah, like 31 is a safe-ish Topher.
No
And
worries,
then-
CC. One of us will get it on the sheet.
Yeah.
But Saturday, 9 o'clock, heck, that's 22 and a half hours away.
Yeah.
Yep. Quick turnaround
And-
for game 3. And, I mean, at the same time, technically it's the last day of the week to get the matches in. Unless we end up just extending the tournament out a bit. But
Well,
we'll find out when we get there.
Yeah, we'll do what we have to, right? Because we got to get a game 3 out of it. This was-
Absolutely.
This was hype in both matches so far. Looking forward to game 3.
The
I am
heartbreak,
as well.
the heartbreak that happened to CC and Spellzap happened to us this time around. And game 3,
Yeah.
I'm just hoping there's no actual heartbreak for either of us teams, and it just comes down to which team plays better.
Yeah, but at the same time, we're like, apart from Tove, I know for a fact both teams played this seed extremely well. I'm actually kind of curious of when Gators got into Tove.
They were doing a little bit more prep pre-Toph than you, but Spellzap was the first one to take an actual dive.
Gotcha.
I figured Spellzap probably was going to be the first one to take an actual dive.
That sounds like Spellzap things.
All right, well, that's all I got. Suppose we can go to our final thoughts here. Take it away, boys.
I'll take first if you don't mind, try hard.
Go ahead.
CC, Spellzap, much love to both of you. We've been in the community for many, many years. And, I mean, even though we're not through with either of our runs in the tournament, this has been an absolute blast to be able to race both of you again. I'm really looking forward to Game 3 tomorrow night. And, it's going to be a blast. So let's put on a good show and kick some butt like we have been.
Yeah. I gotta say, other side of the bracket, whoever makes it through, you should be worried. And yeah, this has been a wonderful time, even with the defeat. I always feel like I have something to prove. Just who I am, especially as the newest one out of the players playing, and just in general. And with this set, I feel very satisfied in the end, no matter what happens tomorrow.
I have to agree with you on that. And I did forget to add one more thing on my end. Classic Gamer Saracen, thank you both so much for doing commentary on this. Oslodo, thank you so much for restreaming. Odron, I know you were tracking. I don't remember who else was tracking
Goats.
alongside. It was Goats. The Goat.
Goats Pirate, our other tracker.
The Goat. Thank you so much for tracking as well. But yeah, I'll throw it back on over to both of you for taking us out of here.
All right, Classic Gamer, your final thoughts.
All right, thank you to both the Gaming Gators and the Hard Rath for another amazing race. It was neck and neck in Topher again. Thank you to RPG Limit Break for having us. Thanks to Saracen for jumping the booth with me, and to Odoron and Ghost Pilots for tracking, keeping us on. So Sloto for the for the restream. And of course, to everyone in chat, you are great. You know, we couldn't do this without you. And take it away, Saracen.
Well, if you like what you saw, definitely come join the community by going to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. Click the Discord link at the bottom of the page to join the Discord. Play the game sometimes, maybe. I don't know, if you want to. We have a full wiki, including our new player program, the Duckling Bootcamp, that shows off how to play the game. If you are looking forward to Game 3, like you should be, that's going to be tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Eastern. We'll figure out the channel, but if you're in the Discord, grab the spectator role from the role request channel. You'll get an alert when the race is getting set up. Give you a little warning so you have time for some snacks, maybe a bathroom break. Get yourself all cozied up for the hot action that will be coming at you tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to it. If I'm not in the booth, I'm going to be sitting here eagerly watching that Game 3. So I hope to see you there as well. Thanks again to both the Gaming Gators and Rath for putting on a fantastic Game 2. Thank you, Uzlodo, Goats Pirate, Odron, my co-coms Classic Gamer 76. This has been a fantastic night. So, again, looking forward to what comes in the rest of this tournament. And we'll see you all on the far side. Good night, everybody.